Hello, everyone. Welcome to Loud and Proud Orlando. It's Monday, September the 30th, 7:33 p.m. We are live right now. Thank you so much to everyone that's supporting us. We're live on YouTube and on X. Drop us your like, subscribe to to our channel. We are available on also on audio form on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So thank you to everyone that's being live. It's our you know a really awesome night for to be a Orlando, living in Orlando just in general. I mean, all all our three soccer teams are just playing tremendous soccer right now. Let's start with Orlando City, literally decimating Dallas. Really strong performance by the Lions. A lot of people, didn't want to give him the benefit of the doubt, but it definitely didn't disappoint. It wasn't a clean sheet, but it was a great result nonetheless. Then you have the Pride, doing amazing. The Pride still undefeated, ready pretty much. uh, If they beat Washington, they'll be right there winning the Shield. And then you have OCB as well excelling. So we're going to be talking about Orlando City and OCB possibly today, and then we'll have the Pride Pot tomorrow. It's definitely exciting to be an Orlando fan. So, John, how are you, my friend? How you feel today?
I'm great, man. Like you said, it's playoff central. Here you go. This is the graphic. Look, I love it. We got Marta, Alex Freeman, Facu Torres, all there representing their clubs. Three clubs, all three in the playoffs, and Luis, all three on track to get home playoff games. Right, like Pride have secured that. OCB have got one more game, but I believe it's top four for that league as well. They get home playoff advantage. And then the same for Orlando City, back and forth. So, home playoff advantage there. Like I posted, like, look at us now. Look at this, man. Like, look where we are. It may have taken a bumpy road, but we're getting to the end of the season, and all three of our clubs are, where they need to be, hitting that, stride at the right time, getting wins, taking down like Dallas and Houston, just wiping out Texas in one weekend, bro. So what a time it is to be an Orlando City fan, Orlando Pride fan, and an OCB fan.
No, for sure. OCB being the youth of the club, and also the under 19s as well, the academy kids, like, also beating Miami, one of the top contenders there. So it's been a great night overall, to be an Orlando fan. And yes, we're going to be talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly. And also you have to highlight the positive impact that those three teams are having right now to the city of Orlando. And so to us, that is also very important. If we just concentrate on the negative, then we'll just be like kind of like Debbie Downers, and that's definitely not who we want to be. We want to definitely be objective on our analysis, and I feel like right now there's more positives than negatives right now going in Orlando. So it's fantastic. So we're gonna today discuss. We're gonna be discussing. We're gonna review the Dallas win for Orlando City, highlights analysis. We're also going to take a look at the MLS East table, and we're going to preview, to me, another tough match. I think the next two games for Orlando are definitely super important, to say the least. Not that every other game is not important, but these two are just. We're going to be facing some massive competition, and so we're going to be previewing Philadelphia Union. John, what are your first thoughts on Dallas?
Dallas, man. I mean, what a win. 3-0 again. Like we're just getting these games consistently back to back. Even though we went to Columbus and we lost, we still scored 3 goals at Columbus. Like we're averaging more than, like, I think it was, like, they said on the broadcast, it was, I tweeted it was like 2.5 goals per game, I think, is our average right now. So I mean, another game where Facu looked hot. I mean, the Schlegel header, of course, we're going to go through all of it, but Definitely a game where we're like, hey, well, how are we going to match up against Dallas? And we showed, we're definitely a better side than they are. The kind of performance we should have put in, I believe, when we went to Sporting KC, but we didn't, right, Luis? We on this Western away trip. This time we go away like we did last year to many places in the West and run away with the points. Came in 3 goals and get the win and look good and look, like one of the hottest teams in MLS, which we are right now.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we definitely literally took the bull by the horns. Not no, but it was phenomenal. It was Luis Musi, Ricardo Moreira were there as well. A big part of FC Dallas, Musi and Oscar Pareja. And a massive win for the Lions away, and hopefully they're able to, you know, take this win and apply it against a really tough competitor, which is going to be Philadelphia. Now, Felipe was put in again. I got a little bit of chills when he came in a little bit. I'm like, come on, man. I thought I was gonna see, Heine. I thought Heine was coming in at first, but then I was like, oh, Felipe, all right, all right. So, um, anyways, we're gonna start with the review. Let's check out the highlights here for the Dallas Orlando City game. Let's kind of analyze. If you're listening, thank you so much for your support. Drop us a 5-star rating on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and tell us, what do you think about the pod? So, thank you so much.
Yadamendi is suspended due to yellow card accumulation. But Warren, how about Omar?
Now, for starters, I'm gonna say, we here at the preview when I did the video, I said Ariola and Ruan are gonna be the ones that are gonna carry the offense for this team, and that's exactly what happened. I expected more of Leggett. He was non-existent. I think the mid did really good to really neutralize Leggett. Same with Ferreira. Now Musa, I think, had one shot on goal, and then the three in the back, they were super tall. But I was really taken aback. We're gonna check out the Lions lineup right after. But from the start, I was like, I don't know if they want to play Orlando this conservatively. I felt like they were really like allowing Orlando to dominate possession from the beginning, and that's really not what you want to do with a team like Orlando that's so dynamic, especially on a good day offensively. So, what were your first thoughts of this Dallas team and this lineup, John?
I just think I think there's a lot of guys in that team that like just won't cut it anymore for you in an MLS team, in my opinion. Like they're playing Omar Gonzalez at
Yeah,
center back.
man.
Like time's gone by, like and like Sebastian Leggett was good at one point, but it's probably they're just very average. There's a lot like Juan, very average MLS player. Like Petar Musa is a great player and he is having a good season, but we managed to keep him quiet. Jesus Ferreira falling off a cliff. Paul Ariola, like you said, is there one of their best players right now. There is a talent on this team. I think they've gone kind of stale. You know what I mean? Like I think a lot of the league and the talent has gone past what Dallas's squad is, and I think they really need to think about upgrading that squad. If it was me.
Yeah,
But yeah, I think we showed our ability just to hold the ball, retain the ball. We're better with the ball. And when they had it, it wasn't like they were sloppy. It was just like they weren't that impressive with it. They didn't create that much dangerous chances for us to deal with. I think we kind of dealt with them fairly easily.
yeah, for sure. I totally agree with you there. Now, when it comes to the Lions,
Gonzalez back-to-back starts as the middleman in the
when it
back three
comes to the
instead of Duncan
Lions,
McGuire.
when I did the video there for the Dallas preview, I said because of the height of the three backs that Dallas is going to put against Orlando, I don't know if Enrique is going to be the first choice for Pareja to start in this game. How wrong was I? I was completely wrong. And I was completely wrong. And honestly, also we weren't taking into consideration that Dagger Dan was injured, so They gave him this game to rest, and then Kyle Smith was right there on the as a right winger, as a right back, and I feel like he did a tremendous job for Dagger. Now, our double pivot was on point, recouping the ball. So that was my only, kind of slap in the head. It was the Enrique positioning. I thought Duncan was going to get the start. What are your thoughts of this Orlando lineup, John?
I think Dagger got injury or something, right? Was that
Yeah,
on
yeah.
what was that on the report? Did they
It was
say?
on the injury report. That's right.
Yeah, what did they say? Do you know? Did it say
They
specifically?
said it was like a posterior,
Something happened. He pulled his
yeah, the
butt. He
back of
pulled
his
his
leg
butt
or something like
muscle.
that.
Dagger pulled his butt. Um, yeah, so obviously I checked. I was like, okay, it wasn't they didn't sub Dagger out because he didn't have a great game against,
Yeah.
I was checking if that was the thing. I think he just injured, obviously. Kyle Smith coming in, Kyle Smith at right back. Who knew? You put the right back at right back, and he can do his job. No, he has a pretty solid game. He's a
I mean, he
good.
could play everything, man.
He's great to fill in wherever. Like that's the thing. Like Kyle Smith, I cannot complain about the man.
Yeah, he could play anywhere, man.
He is what he is. When we ask him to do a job, he does a good job, and that's what he did here. Dunk not getting the start. I was not. I think this is the right move, in my opinion. I think Oscar has it right. Start Ramiro. I mean, still the guy got a goal, right? Everyone was like, Ramiro's not hot. Ramiro scored an incredible flick header. So, now Ramiro's hot again. Duncan's hot. Who do you start? I think the answer is Duncan is more impactful off the bench than Ramiro is. And that's why you have and also I think at the beginning of the game when we want to hold possession, we want to feel each other out, Ramiro is a better guy to have out there because he's able to, move into the half spaces, drop deep, connect with them, with the midfielders, play those 1-2s. Duncan really wants to get in behind on those long balls, and that's better game suited for later in the match when players are tired and he's running at them, and he's a new threat to deal with after they've dealt with Enrique for the last 70 minutes or whatever, right? So I think it's the right way around. I would keep it like that. Do you feel the same way, Luis?
Yeah, 110%. It's I felt this team played an amazing game offensively and defensively because there was, to me, possession with a purpose in a way. You have just for Ramiro to shut my mouth on the last video, and saying, maybe he's too short to play against those three backs. And then the way he just made that sneaky run, it was just all about positioning in the box and just destroy Omar Gonzalez. Like it just totally made me look stupid. But it's great. Honestly, it's great that they are scoring those goals early that are literally setting the tone for what's coming after that. Because I felt like once they score the first one, they feel so comfortably with the ball that they just take over the game progressively. And if the competition's not gonna challenge them whatsoever, they just take over the whole entire game like they did here.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like Oscar's always like we want to be the protagonist. Like we were not that against
The whole
Columbus.
first half of
We
the
try
whole
to
first six
be.
games.
Columbus are that team as well. So they probably were more than us in that game. But whereas we go up against a team like Dallas and we go, no, we're going to assert ourselves in our game and we're going to control the ball. And, we just put on a display this game, Luis. I think, and all of the goals, as we'll see, were just pure class as well. So it wasn't like, hey, we dominated and got lucky with some, we dominated and played some great games, scored some beautiful goals.
Yeah, I mean, Orlando City coming into this game, they didn't score one single goal in Dallas. The Lions came out with a firing squad and put 3 in the net in the first 55 minutes of the game. So honestly, it was very, very important. So let's continue to see what occurred. So thank you so much to everybody that's listening and watching. Drop us your comments and we'll read them all. So from the start, I didn't know it was going to be that fast, but let me rewind right here. So first starts with Cesar, right? And Cesar, sets Ojeda, right? Martin Ojeda. And
Moving the
then,
ball in tight spaces.
he finds Santos. And then I feel, and I don't know if you feel the same way, John, they're practicing this. This is a straight up like I did this on practice type of goal. I don't know if you felt the same way, because the way Santos just perfectly saw the movement of Ramiro, it just seems that this is something that they've done before.
Yeah. I mean, I think Ramiro is he's a go near post kind of guy like that. Like he does that move a lot. And Santos is like a I'll put it in near post kind of crosser. Like Duncan's done that off of Santos header, cross before, right? We've seen that. So the near post flick. And also I'm always impressed by how Ramiro jumps. Like this one's not very high, but he does have a really pretty good jumping height for someone who's not the tallest. I don't know exactly how tall he is. I have to look that up, but he's not a guy that you would, think, oh, he's 5'7", so his stature is not huge.
Yeah.
But he does well to jump and get headed goals. And he's, I think, worked on his headed game because of his size. And you can see that here because this is a really good technical near post flick. I mean, it's the kind of goal that you would score from a corner where you put it into your big center forward and he knocks it back, or your center back or whoever. But I was really impressed by this goal from Enrique, and just nestled perfectly in the back corner.
Yeah, I mean the way that he just kind of took over Omar Gonzalez is just, so impressive, to say the least. He's definitely back in form again. It's an amazing thing to watch, honestly. 5'7" compared to, Ibagea and Omar Gonzalez, and I'm like, putting some doubt in what he was going to do, but it's just amazing, what he did in this game. Definitely excelling all expectations, and this is great for a soccer player to definitely prove the doubters and prove the pundits wrong, and now I have to be massive respect for the people that went to Dallas, dude. Like that is awesome. That is
That's
amazing.
like not that bad away trip. That's like an easy away trip.
Yeah.
That's a good one to go. Or they might have friends or family. A lot of people do that. They'll go on an away trip because they know they have friends somewhere they could stay. So I could see that. But it was great that they cut to some fans. Great to see.
That's right. I think we have a chat. Hold on, let me see if I can find it real quick. We just got a new thing that I'm able to read the. Why is it not coming up? I don't
We're
think
in a new system.
Yeah, hold on. I don't know why it's not coming up, man. Can you read it on YouTube? Hold on, let me see if I can.
Yeah, so JC Beast 95 says, Buenas noches, everybody. Glad to see the road win. We need to keep this momentum going. I said the Spanish commentators were saying how he's too short to score headers right as he scores.
There you go.
So they don't believe it. They don't believe in Felipe's heading abilities. That's
I completely agree with JC, man. I was one of them. I'll be honest with you. I said it on the last video for LPO.
I've seen his headers before, man. He's been working on it his whole career. You can tell.
Now, I talked to a Argentinian colleague regarding Ramiro, and he's like, he didn't score over 10 goals in the Argentinian Super League for no reason. This kid was poised to, if he would have stayed here at this rate, he would have had at least like 16, 17 goals this season. So when he went to Orlando, he was quite hot. Also, and he left Argentina, in a scoring run, and so it's great to see him that he's doing great, and that's the reason why, we see Ramiro, and I mean it's phenomenal, the momentum that he's having. So
Orlando City 1, FC Dallas 0.
Delivery, Marcus, you're right.
That was a good save by the keeper, but that was a great shot from distance, dude. They gotta do more of those, I feel, John.
Yeah, I mean we were all over them in that first like 20 minutes. we were like really that first half was like all us. Like most of this game, they had like a little period right at the end of the match where they kind of they had some life in them after they scored a goal. But this first half, it was all Orlando City. We were making a lot of chances. We were, we had what was it, 3 big chances this game, 12 total shots. Apparently, they had more total shots, but it never felt that way to me. It was all us creating the quality chances for sure.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you, and I know it's going to be very controversial. If we're looking for a left back, I'm just saying, you maybe want to poach Areola, man.
As a
Areola.
left back?
Yeah, he's playing.
Is he? No, he's not playing left
He was
back.
playing left back in the line of 5.
No,
He was playing
he's
as a
playing like
fullback.
left wing back,
He
right?
was playing as a left wing back. That's right, but you can put him.
Wasn't Farfan playing there?
No, he was a left wing back. I know for a fact he was a left wing back.
Oh,
Hold
so
on.
Farfan's playing like left side as center back of the
Yeah,
team.
left half center back. Yeah, left side. Yeah,
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I guess I would. That's not how I would do. But the dude is 29 years old. I think
yeah, but still, I mean, 29 years old,
I'd take him
American.
as a rotation player,
But,
TAM rotation option. But I wouldn't start the man.
like if Santos stays, he'll be a perfect sub.
I
Like,
think he's a 10. I think that he's a 10.
yeah, he is.
I don't know why they'd be playing him as a left wing
I
back.
have no idea too, but I mean,
Hey, that's what I also this whole stadium. Like I know they're getting they literally just announced they're renovating this whole
Yeah.
stadium, but and it's not even that old. It's like 10, 20 years old, but it looks so. It just feels the vibe at this stadium. You could see the field lines from whatever other American footballs played there.
Yeah.
It looks very 2000s MLS. This game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I agree with you. I agree
They
with you.
don't the squad too. Everything just feels a little dated.
I feel
Everything
bad
needs a
for
fresh coat of paint in Dallas. That's what I'll say.
and not only that, I feel bad for the fan base too. I mean, they've been
Yeah, and they just feel it was very lackluster. Like the fans, like they're watching their team and they seem very normal to watch their team go down like that so quickly.
Yeah.
And
yeah, it was pretty sad, but
they didn't seem to have much of a reaction, and I don't know.
no, I agree with you.
I'm not sure about the level of passion from these Dallas FC fans.
Well, it's because they're not. I mean, this is the way I feel. I mean, before, when they always were a team that at some point they really reached, top level. But then after that, they started calling themselves, the academy of the United States in a way. You know what I mean? So we are the best academy in the MLS, and right now they're not even that. You know what I mean? I mean, right now they're not even that. So they can really say much about that. I think there's so many other
There's
academies
no
now that
point in
are
having the best academy if you don't
right. They're not
like
even putting young players to play.
if you don't retain them enough to like
Right.
win stuff occasionally, and yeah. That's like I said. I think they just need a revamp at Dallas.
That's right. Okay, so let's keep watching here. Rodri's goal, John.
I mean, Rodri, he has these moments of brilliance, right? That's just what he is. Like he's a very I would say reliable, but then also not at times, right? And then just like he has terrible moments, he has moments of brilliance as well, right? And I think this was one from him. You see him trying to do this a lot on attacking corners, and he does attack the ball well in the box. He is somebody that I think has good movement in the box. Like he tries to lose his man. He's always playing, tug of war with his man in the box. And this was a perfect set piece. We've suddenly become, Luis, a team that's very good at set pieces. I think more credit has to go to Martin Perlman. We saw that one where Rafa Santos scored a few weeks back. Now another one here from a corner, directly from a corner to Schlegel, who just it's a power header is what it is. It's an absolute banger of a header into the back corner. Two headers, amazing headers this weekend, because there was another one for the Pride as well. So what a finish by Schlegel. And we love the Half of Santos. Sorry, not the Half of Santos. We like the crosses from the corner.
Yeah, it's definitely they're definitely practicing this, and they're definitely this is the type of thing that we wanted to see since the beginning of the season. Them taking advantage of set pieces, corner kicks, free kicks. I mean, this is the things that are, if you become lethal on the set piece, and they have definitely the players to do so, it's just an added weapon in their arsenal, and it's just going to make a lot of sense for them to other teams to definitely be a little bit more careful on how they're marking. And it's great to me. It's fantastic to see that they're now the game is 54 minutes, 2-0, and it looked pretty promising for the Lions.
And of course, the
doing again.
Now this right here, it was all it was all to me, it was a mistake of Rouen. I don't know what he was thinking here. If I'm a Dallas fan, I probably will call controversy on here because former Orlando City player, took a picture with all of them and all of that.
and of course,
look at this.
The only assist, as it was his corner kick.
And look at Facu, how that high press. The high press that Orlando makes, especially when the other team, has the ball.
It was headed home by Ron.
So that's Ramiro right there, number 7.
Rigo Schlegel
kind of beats Rouen, and just kind of Facu just completely passes by their defense, and he was completely unmarked.
Doing again.
And now it's Facundo Torres. He's had
And
one chance tonight.
he was not going to miss that. At that point, he was not going to miss that. It was a fantastic goal. Thoughts on the play, John? Thoughts on the goal?
Yeah, I mean, it's
look at those Muriel passes, man. It makes me have a lot of hope, man. Those Muriel passes makes me have a lot of hope. What are your thoughts on those Muriel passes right there?
Yeah, man, I think this is where we found Muriel's, like what Oscar's been working on with him so much. And the thing is, he doesn't need to be like 90 minutes to have value. You know what I mean? Like, he can be a guy that comes on and makes an impact like this. And right now he's coming on and finding these through balls that are just straight through the play, or he's reading the game very well, and he's using his skills that he has that are able to, pick out the right pass or go past the guy and then make a little dribble or pass or take a shot when it's the right opportunity. I think before, when he first got here, Luis, he was trying to do it all himself. Like he was like, hey, I can't, these guys, I want to put the team on my back and like get a goal and like go past 3 guys and smoke it in the top corner. And now he's like, oh, okay, Oscar's like wants me to be more of a midfielder. Now my role is to like, open up the game with, like Muriel, JCB says perfectly, Muriel with those surgical passes.
That's right.
Like he's just cutting teams open now by using his brain and his intelligence to say, all right, if I pick the ball up here in the mid and I turn and I move out into the space here, and then, okay, Facu's wide open and I play Facu in, or Duncan over the top, or the through ball that we saw for the goal against, who is it, Charlotte, where Duncan smoked Tim Ream. Like, that's the Muriel that we're seeing right now. And if he can continue to be that way, like I don't think we're gonna start him. But if he can come off the bench and make those clinical passes, those surgical passes, like JCB says, I think that's the value of him right now for this team for going forward in the playoffs.
No, for sure. I mean, I think having Muriel, maybe, I don't know. I feel like Muriel, if he's stepping up his game, he's definitely proving it so right now. He's definitely playing. He's in a really good form, and I think as a creator of crazy assists like this, they're definitely going to come in handy when we play competition like Philadelphia and Cincinnati. it's another weapon in Orlando's arsenal that they're truly using the right way. So it's great to see, and that is Oscar and his staff, making it happen. Hopefully, we see Muriel, scoring more goals next season. But if he's gonna be doing this, I think I'm content. To be honest with you, that right here. Um,
Piece to the puzzle. Oh, here's Gillespie out. He played.
I don't know if this was necessary. To be honest with you. I don't know if this was necessary, John.
A little wild. It's a little wild, I gotta say. It's,
Yeah,
I understand the ball's like coming over the top, and I think he's nervous about Jansen not getting to balls now.
That's right.
Like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
And that's why he comes flying out. But
exactly.
But who is that? Schlegel, or who's that in the orange boots right there? Is
That's
Santos?
Santos.
Santos could easily have got to him in time
Correct.
to stop. Also,
So
Jensen's not that far behind, and like I understand he would have got that ball and would have been bearing down on goal. But once that happens, then you come out, Pedro. It's like he jumped the gun. You know what I mean? Like you gotta rush the guy if he gets the ball. You don't rush the ball,
to get the guy.
And because if he misses that there, Luis, or here, like he doesn't miss it, but he doesn't clear it. Like it's a bad clearance because it goes straight to them and we get lucky. But yeah,
look,
it's not
look,
smart.
what you said first,
it's eccentric, I would say.
right?
Eccentric.
Look, what you said first makes a lot of effing sense, because I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Galeza probably did this because he's like, you know what? He's gonna get beaten by Ferreira. I've seen this happen already too many games. I gotta do something about this. And obviously the methods are unorthodox, and I feel a little too, too daredevilish, in my opinion. But I mean, the save is just, it made the news in Peru. The save of this,
wild.
It made the freaking news in Peru. My dad texted me. My dad is actually in Lima right now. My dad and my mom. And they're like, did you see that Alessa save? I was like, what? I was like, I was like, it's all over here. It's like, it's all over. Like this whole play.
But that's the thing. Like, yeah, great save, but you caused the problem in the first place. So it's like, that's like when he makes those double saves where he palms it and he just puts it like right there and then has to save it again. It's like, okay, great double save, but like you just got to get it right the first time. Or
he kind of fixed, he kind of fixes mistakes.
He does, and good keepers do that, man. Like you gotta recover. Like anybody in the back line. Like if you lose the ball as the fullback, you gotta get back and recover. Like it's the same way if you're the goalkeeper. And he knew, we need that meme. We need to pause it where he like heads the ball, and they're like, it was at this moment he knew that he that he effed up, and then he's like has to run back and make the save. So
JCB's is the Alianza DNA. There you go. Yeah, of course, man. We're not doing too great. I think we already lost Clausura. I think Universitario is gonna win it all, but whatever, man. It's this made the news in Peru. My dad was like, "Did you see that save he did against Dallas?" I was like, "Dad, like really?" It's like, "Yeah, it's all over. It's all close too."
Gillespie off the underside of the crossbar. 85th minute.
Now the last 10 minutes of this game, it was all Dallas, man, and it kind of made me a little worried. I don't know how you felt about this, John.
I think in every game, Luis, we have some bad periods. Like I don't think we're a 90-minute team still, even at this point in the season. I think there's, like we saw against Columbus, there was more of that. Like that first half in Columbus was not good at all. And in this game, we kind of just fell off a cliff at the end just because they got a bit of confidence. And I think also, it just sometimes things start to swing the other way, and it's the end of the match, and we were like, oh, okay, you can have a few chances. Like I don't like that, but when you're 3-1 up, they're feeling a little bit more comfortable to let them have the ball at that point, so
Yeah, for sure, for sure. No, yeah. So, I mean, we're not a 90 plus minute team. That is a really big statement. And I think if we truly want to contend, I think we got to change that around. You know,
Yeah, I mean that's the difference between us and
and Columbus, for example.
and Fort Lauderdale and these
Other
other
team.
teams that they see,
That's
like
right.
the LA teams. They'll
All
take
right.
a game to 90. Not always, but like and I think we have these periods of matches where we and you can see it like if you look at momentum charts on SofaScore or if you look at Football, you'll see it on there, like the periods of the game where we really fall out. One thing that was really interesting here, Luis, I thought on the stats was I was looking at the stats for this game, and they
You
show
want to
kind of
share it?
like, yeah, I'll put it up here. They show the sort of what do you call it? Like the parts of the field where we have like the most action in our attack. Can you guess? Can you guess where we attack the most, Luis?
I would say it was the right side.
Yeah, well, our left
Or left.
down the opposing right. So here you can see
Yep.
in the like the brighter, like this highest concentration of play,
That's
like
Angulo right there for you.
we come out into the midfield, then we go straight down the left. And Santos, Angulo, everybody like Ojeda shifts left on his left foot. Faku comes left on his left foot. This is just like Orlando City to a T right now in
Yeah.
this graphic here, don't you think? I saw that and I was like,
110%.
yo, this is our team on paper in
How
this one
important?
graphic.
Now, it's also important if you want to be a team that's going to make it past the second round of playoffs to, hey, Angulo gets a knock. I mean, look, Angulo has been one of the best players in the team. Whether you like it or not, Angulo has been healthy the past like 2 seasons. No one single injury. It's played the most minutes in the team. Now, if he happens to get a cold, who's gonna drive the team forward? You know what I mean? So those are the type of things that I feel could be a double-edged sword coming up the playoffs. And that's why I feel also very strongly, John, to put up the kids to the young kids to start pushing the envelope. You know what I mean? Pushing the envelope, and definitely going for um going for a Sukata, for example. He could play that left. To start getting Sukata ready, because once we start getting Sukata ready and Angulo, something may happen. Death in the family, God forbid. He has to fly back to Colombia for an emergency, and then we have a really big game coming up. Boom, Sukata's ready to go. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like Kyle Smith. You know how you could use Kyle Smith in different positions and all that stuff. We gotta find something for that left side too. Petrasso as well instead of Santos. I think it'd be good for us.
Yeah, I mean, I think also like we said, why no Heine Bruce? That's still. I,
Yeah, what's going on
I,
with that?
I think Oscar, like we know, he just really takes his time to bring players into the squad and give them minutes, and it's just it's something that frustrates me. Like Brecalo, I know he has injuries, but he really wasn't introduced immediately and had to kind of earn a bit of his way in. And I get all that, but at a certain point, you're looking at a guy and you say, okay, we want him to be our starter, then you just got to start him. And especially with this youth, like we need to be given more minutes because, like you said, Luis, if something happens, and knock on wood, God forbid it doesn't, but if something happens right now to one of our starting free, attacking mids, whoever you put in is going to be a big drop down. Like he's going to put in Ladero over starting, Scott or Shaq or whoever from OCB because we just haven't given them the minutes. Whereas if you'd given them a lot of minutes, maybe given them some starts, you'd feel more comfortable in that scenario. It's just exactly the same problem that we talked about when Cesar was out for a game. Is that we got that same issue all over the field. Apart from striker, where we're blessed with numerous backup strikers. The attacking mids, the D mids, Center back, definitely the big problem. The fullbacks. We've got players in and around the squad. We've got, Petrasso, Alex Freeman. We've got these fringe, not the core roster. What do they call it? Like the supplemental roster guys.
Yeah.
Those are the guys that we need. We talked about this last pod. Like we need them. We need them to get some minutes, and I want to get the minutes soon, or else like they're not going to be usable in the playoffs.
Yeah,
You're
in the
not going to
playoffs.
put
That's
them in
right.
a playoff game if you haven't even put them in a regular season game.
That's right.
The
Now,
pressure is heightened. So
no, this goal by Dallas, when this happened, I was like, God damn. I was like, damn it, man. Come on, dude. This is gonna kill the momentum. We're gonna have to park the bus. And something. What happened to Jesus Ferreira, dude? What happened to him? I mean,
another one, man. That's what I'm talking about.
bro, it's like U.S. men's
they're
national team, like hot. He was scoring
he's just
goals.
injury prone as well. Like
Like,
I think that's part of it. But also like Dallas, I feel like they're all of their players are on the decline. No, I think they haven't got any like young talents that are on. And if they do, they sell them. You notice how quickly they are to sell a guy to Europe. Like they have up and coming dudes, and then they're the first ones to sell them for a couple of million off to Europe. Great, but now your team is full of aged MLSers who are not doing it anymore. So
yeah.
10th in the West. I know the like East and West and whatever, but I still feel like. Do you feel like 10th in the West is better than 10th in the East, Luis? I was kind of surprised. I thought they were going to be a little bit better than they were.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough for them. I mean, the West right now. I mean, it's
it's like more competitive at the top of the East.
Yeah,
but more competitive throughout the West, right? Would you say that this year?
No, for sure. I mean, the resurgence of Portland has had to.
Yeah, like Portland with Evander, and they're in 9th place. Like Evander's scoring goals for fun, and they're still in 9th place. Like there's, they're on 45 points over there and in 9th place. Over here, if you have 45 points, you're where we are in 4th place. So, yeah.
To me, the surprises for the West have been Houston, Portland, because Portland were almost dead last, so they started really not so hot. Seattle too, they started getting up there. But then, if you look at me, what are the three most consistent teams in the West? Is Colorado, Salt Lake, and Galaxy and LAFC. Those four are the most consistent right now. To me, are the ones that are going to be contending for important things. But then, I'm just surprised to see how bad St. Louis and Austin are. Obviously San Jose, unfortunately, I mean, 35 goals against, record for the worst, probably, worst team probably in the MLS in a long time. It is like, look at this right here. It's pretty lonely right there, like Sporting KC, like we lost against this team, man, you know what I mean? St. Louis, like, and Austin, that are hot teams in my opinion, and really good cities, like, they're not going to make playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be interesting when we get in there. What's going to happen in the East and West this year.
And here we are. I feel the East is also very competitive, man.
The East is definitely like, look at how tight it is. Like, we're going to play Philly obviously on Wednesday. They're on 9th and 37th place, and Toronto on 8th and 37 points as well. And you've got Charlotte right above them, a bit of a gap on 42. But, like Montreal also on 37 points in 10th place, Atlanta on 34 points in 11th place, DC on 12 points, and 12th place on 34 points. It's with how many games left, Luis? I forget.
I mean,
Um,
we have only like I think 4 games left. Four.
yeah, I want
Yep.
to say like not that
Yeah,
many at
yeah.
all,
So if we have
right?
3 games left,
We have three
literally.
games left,
Yep.
even less. So there's it's wild to me that the MLS regular season ends before the NWSL season this year, but that's another conversation.
Is it
Philly,
for Halloween?
Cincy, yeah, Philly, Cincy, and Atlanta. Obviously, they got a big gap between the Cincy and Atlanta game, but it's for us 3 games. Anything can happen. It is still not determined who's going to be in the playoffs. Um, yeah.
So
Do you want
Lewis,
to talk?
you better not have
Oh,
jinxed it, Lewis. Come on, man. Come on.
did we finish the highlights?
Yeah, yeah. We finished the highlights after that penalty. It was pretty
That
much a
was it.
done data. It was over. We're taking a look at the table, right? The standings.
Yeah.
So you already mentioned that. Now, we're gonna be facing, to me, a team in the resurgence, kind of like Portland in the West, Philly in the East. Right? They are really playing really well after the defeat against Inter Miami and the return of the Messiah Messi. Before that, they beat the Red Bulls, which is pretty much one of the top contenders. Also, they destroy New York NYCFC in New York, which is the most impressive thing. And then they beat obviously DC United with Benteke and all 4-0 at home. And then they tie with Atlanta United. So they're kind of almost a very similar momentum as us. They're a very hot and cold team right now. That they could be having like a massive game against a top team, but then against the smaller competition, it kind of hinders them a little bit. Now, when it comes to Orlando City, to me, there's one thing in favor for Orlando to play against Philly, and it's number one, the momentum, but number two is you're playing at home, and so I feel like Orlando playing at home should definitely make a difference at this point. Now, what are your first expectations coming up, Philly, John?
I mean, they've been on a real tear. They're like Philly are back, right? Earlier in the year,
Yeah.
they were not the Philly that we expect to see in the East. They're not I mean, what the team that came, I think, second the year before we came second, right? I think they were second in, what was that, 22?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously they got final of the East. They got to the MLS, like they won the East. They got to the MLS Cup final. Like they're perennial big dog in years gone by, and that just hasn't really been the case this year. And then they've been returning from their slump more recently. Their recent form, they beat the Red Bulls like 5 games ago, 4 games ago. They managed to, they lost to Inter Miami, but they put up a good game and came close there. Then they beat New York City 5-1 and absolutely smacked them. And then they beat DC 4-0, smacked them. Then somehow Atlanta managed to pull a draw against them. So most recently in their last game. But if you go back and look at the stats, and like it was all Philly. Atlanta kind of got a little bit lucky, I think, to get the draw in that one. Probably Philly fans annoyed they didn't get the win there. So yeah, I think we need to look at them. Don't look at them as a team that is, what are they, like? Yeah, ninth right now. They're not a ninth, scrapping. They're not, in my opinion, of the same level as Charlotte, Toronto, Montreal, Atlanta around them. I believe they are more of the level of us, Cincy, Columbus, Inter Miami. They should be up at the top here. They just really struggled at the beginning of the year, but based on their form and the way they're playing at the moment, we need to consider them like they're more of a top 4 or 5 club in the East, like they have been in years before.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, what's not to say with some of the form that they're having right now? Um, you know, Kai Wagner and Harriel is playing massive to me. He's playing. I mean, their backs are pretty. They have come a long way.
They're getting the
And
most out of their
right.
DPs right now, Luis.
Yep. in this resurgence. Now up top, I think they're having a tough time scoring as well. Obviously against NYCFC, they didn't have
Well, they scored no. They scored 9 in the 2 games before the Atlanta game, so I think they're okay there.
yeah, I think they're okay. In the mid, they have Gazdag and McGlynn. These are players that we already know how they play. I'm sure they have a lot of tape on them. Oscar should know how to approach to this game. Victor Sanchez says Orlando City and Pride are ready to kick some ass in the playoffs. Hopefully, my friend. I know the Pride are they're poised for greatness right now. Orlando City, hopefully as well. I think it'd be cool to get to an MLS final.
Don't forget OCB, man, also in the
OCB
playoffs.
too, yeah. OCB also in the playoffs. Now, I know that you say that we have to be conservative and reserved, and and I think we both praise um, Philly, but on paper, John, I feel we have the superior team on paper.
Uh yes and no. In some places, and others, I don't. Like Kai Wagner, I still consider extremely good
Yeah,
left
better than
back. Probably,
Santos.
probably the best in the league. Andre Blake can be an extremely good keeper. We got to watch out for the Sullivan brothers, both Quinn and Kevin. Even he's playing now. So 14-year-old Sullivan and whatever the other one is, 19-year-old Sullivan.
I'll be pissed if I'll be.
Gazdag, always a problem for us. We never done well with Gazdag. He scores a lot of goals. He's a problem. Jack McGlynn, I was in the team with Duncan McGuire that was away at the Olympics. Really top, probably one of the best D mid prospects in MLS right now, Jack McGlynn. So really solid center back pairing in Glesnes and Elliott. When they're playing well, this is a very good Eastern side. This is a top 4 Eastern side, like I said. So they are on a similar level to us. We probably have some better players than them. They probably have some better players than us. But definitely, I would say a fairly even matchup on paper.
Yeah, it's a fairly even matchup. I feel like when it comes to us, Orlando City, I feel like if we treat this as the first 15 minutes against Dallas, the opening 15 minutes, having a lot of the possession, and typically when Orlando had the possession in the beginning of the games, there was a little to nothing to show for it. But after the first goal, it's just pressing in attack, great passes, solid spacing, around, and then you have your wingers making those crosses like Rafael Santos to find Ramiro Enriquez. So I think if we do that and we capitalize in the first 20 minutes of the game, I think that's going to set the tone for the rest of the game. Now, also our back line, I want to definitely say, and I don't know if you agree with me or not, but out of the two center backs right now that we have, I feel like to me, the one that's excelling the most is Rodrigo Schlegel right now. I think Rodrigo Schlegel to me right now, it's a starter, a must start. And because the level that he's playing right now, it's by far superior than Jansen. I mean, that's the way I feel. I mean, again, but I don't know if you feel the same way. And I think if that continues, for him to have that his game being elevated like that, I think it's going to be good for Orlando to have that. Especially, he just scored of a set piece. So I don't know what your thoughts regarding Rodri's form.
I think he's playing well. I don't think we need to worry too much about Jansen. I think it's just definitely slowing down, but it's also a long season. It's a lot of games. So I think as long as he's getting rest and like when we get into the playoffs, they're going to have enough rest between the games, hopefully. Well, actually, probably not for that first opening 3 matches, but that's where I think he struggles more. I think when he's had enough rest, he's okay and he's on it most of the time. So we got to trust in the guy, man. He's getting close to his 200 goal appearances for the club. So
Yeah.
I don't want to lose faith in Jansen. I think Rodrigo is having a great time, but also Rodrigo, like last year, part of the reason we didn't get through the playoffs was because he messed up in that big moment in the playoffs. So let's see. I'm still hopeful that Brecalo is going to come back in the team. I'm not like pushing it back, but we need to have 3 good center back options, because if Jansen goes injured, whatever, we need all 3 of them performing well. Really.
Now it's what's in right now in global soccer to play with 3 center backs and 2 wing backs now. Like that's I see a lot of teams playing that way. And I don't think Orlando, and I say this with all honesty, I don't think Orlando has the players. I mean, from the start, I don't feel like we have the win backs to play like that. Now, if we make acquisitions in the off season that would allow us to play with Rodri, Brecalo, and Jansen, or maybe one of them leave, and we have a brand new center back coming in, 22, 23-year-old, coming in to play with Jansen and Brecalo, or maybe Rodri and Brecalo. Then I'll say, but we have to have those backs, kind of like the guy from Toronto, Ruddy, right? Marshall Ruddy, or like a what's his name? Like Paul Arriola played against in Dallas. He played that position too. So you kind of have to have that back and forth guy, and we've been kind of struggling with that. So that's why we have the back line of 4. But I feel like against Philly, we're going to see pretty much the same Orlando City that we've seen the past few games. Torres, with also an elevated game for Torres. I think that's important to have Torres to be in 110%, mentally prepared for the task at hand. And I think he's delivering big time, John. I think he's come a long way this season, Torres.
Yeah, I mean he's hot at the right time. The summer of Facu is over, but we got to keep him firing, man. You ready to do the lineup for Philly?
That's right. Yeah, we're gonna do the lineup for Philly. It's gonna be a tough game for sure, but let's see here. So we have Pedro Galese. Is that correct?
El Pulpo.
Oh, you're gonna put Mercado in.
Mm-hmm. No.
I'm just joking, man.
Luis's favorite joke.
You got Rodri. Man, at some point, people were asking for him to be.
Here we go. No, Luis, we're in happy land at the end of the season.
They were saying,
we're not
gonna
look back at that.
They got Jansen right there. Now we're gonna see Santos, and we have to see if Daggerden is back too.
I hope it's not a long time out for Dagger. That would suck.
Yeah, so I'm gonna put Smith/Dagger, because we don't know. We don't have updates yet of his.
I think it might be another game for him.
Yeah, probably. So let's just put Smith then.
They might want to save him for Saturday. They might be like, "Hey, rest, and then we'll save you Saturday." I could see that.
We're gonna do Cesar, and then we're gonna do Wilder, and I think the rest is gonna be the same. Ojeda, Angulo, which, man, Angulo's been playing so much, man. Unbelievable.
Yeah, man. I mean, it picks itself, really.
Yeah. Angulo is in top shape, and then Facu, and then up top. Now, this is the thing. Rodrigo, Ramiro Enrique, or you're gonna have Duncan? I feel it's gonna be Ramiro as well.
I think it stays like this. Yeah, I think Oscar is like, maybe if there's like a center back matchup or something where he's like, hey, I'm gonna put in Duncan, but I think I think we'll see this going forward. I don't know whether the rotation with us playing 3 games in a week is going to be an issue, but I think more likely he looks at this home game as like, we can get the points here at home. We need to win at home, and then let's see what we can do on the road at Cincy. But it's easier to beat Philly in our own house, and I think he's going to put all of his eggs in this basket on Wednesday night. So I don't think he's going to rotate or rest anybody, and that's why I think Ramiro is going to start again. I think this is exactly the repeated lineup from last game.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a repeated lineup as well.
Yeah.
Let's read some comments real quick. The look on those DC fans when the goal was called offside. There you go. Stream Jesus, and they only got that goal because of a super lucky foul. We own Dallas. We clobber them. There you go. There you go, Stream Jesus. Air Vega says, "Hey guys, let's go. We're in the playoffs on home field advantage. There you go. Let's do it. Let's do it."
Not only are we in the playoffs, but so is Pride, so is OCB. Everybody's in the playoffs. So
No, we're a playoff team, guys.
We're a playoff city.
Playoff city.
Which we're a Club World Cup city.
Exactly.
As well.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're getting definitely. We've got the Camping World and our stadium in Co. So 2 nations for the FIFA Club World Cup. Sorry, 2 stadiums for the FIFA Club World Cup. Meaning that we're probably, Luis, I think, highly likely to get Champions League, European Champions League winner, potentially Real Madrid in Camping World. Maybe we'll see.
So you feel like we're gonna get a top team to play?
I think because Camping World is big.
No,
they played there. They played there in the preseason game before.
I was told it was Interco.
Well, no, it's both.
Oh, both.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Orlando has both stadiums are hosting the FIFA Club World Cup, which leads me to believe that I think we're very highly likely to get a European Champions League winner in the Camping World Stadium.
United.
I wouldn't think we would get it for our stadium, but
for our stadium, I think we're gonna get Seattle Sounders. Hopefully, it'll be cool.
There you go.
It'll be good to see the Sounders. I love how Orlando is getting recognized. There you go, man. Yeah, for sure. I mean, we are a soccer city. That's 110% fact. And that started happening when Orlando started in USL. That started brewing right there. Started small and then it became this amazing club. I went to see a Boca Juniors game in Orlando. I completely agree. Let's fill up both stadiums. I guarantee you both games are going to be packed.
So clubs that have already qualified for the FIFA Club World Cup. Just to read off some names for you.
Yeah. You wanna share it real quick?
Yeah, to read off some names for you. Chelsea.
Oh, I can see Chelsea.
Yeah.
The Blues.
They're available in there, like Man City, Bayern Munich, PSG, Inter Milan, like these are possible teams. Seattle, like you said, Monterrey, Salzburg, and then we're looking more obscure, like River Plate, Barker Juniors, Flamengo, Fluminense, Auckland City from New Zealand. There you go.
I'm sure we're gonna get a Brazilian team.
Right, don't forget we're gonna get like an Asian team. Maybe we've got a few teams here from
Japan,
the Red Diamonds. Yeah,
I will love
Al Halil. We could see a little bit of Messi versus Ronaldo going on here. Who knows?
No, Al Hilal. No, Ronaldo's not there.
Oh, sorry, he's another.
It's gonna be Neymar.
Yeah, Monterrey, Salzburg, Atletico Madrid, Juve, Borussia Dortmund. I mean, the list. So somebody is coming to play, and if you don't understand what this is, I have to explain because
you want to share.
To me, this is like the definition of soccer and explaining to try explaining to your average American soccer fan what the FIFA Club World Cup is to them, and it's I get it. It doesn't
It started with the Intercontinental Cup,
right? So people were like, "Oh, it's the World Cup." You're like, "Well, no."
Yeah.
It's the Club World Cup. What does that mean? Okay, well, it's the winners of all the Champions League. Okay, well, what's the Champions League? All right. So every literally, you have to explain the world structure of soccer.
It's the CONCACAF Champions League.
This is the peak of the world soccer diamond, right? So, obviously, all of the Champions League winners from their respective continents play in this tournament. So if you win the Champions League in 2024 or wherever, you're going to then be put into the 2025 FIFA Club World Cup. I know Seattle played in it when they won. Who did they play? I forget. They played I believe one of the United Arab Nations as well, and they played like Man City or something. I
Yeah,
can't remember.
so technically it should be CONCACAF Champions League winner, Copa Libertadores winner, Champions League winner, Asian Cup winner, Africa Cup winner, and all of them put them in a tournament and then they play
Yep.
against each other, right?
The AFC, the
Right.
CAF, the CONCACAF, the
All of the
CONMEBOL, the
confederations.
OFC, and the UEFA, to be technically
In
correct.
this first edition,
Yeah.
they've added historic clubs. So
Yeah.
that, for example, River Plate didn't win anything. Same with Boca Juniors.
Well, that's what they're saying here. FIFA's new prime club competition, the FIFA Club World Cup 20,
Right.
will grace the world stage in June.
You want to share that real quick so we can?
Yeah, you can see here. Hold on one second. It's very interesting. They're definitely trying to, who's hosting it? When will it be played? From June to July of next year. The stadiums you can see here, both Camping World. Let's zoom in a little bit. Both here, Camping World and Inter & Co. Where they played, you can see all across the U.S. here. We're obviously a host city. How many teams? There are going to be 32 teams.
32
so
teams.
it's going to be more like a World Cup than it's ever before.
Yeah.
It was literally just the winners of the Champions League. So this year, that's why I was like, wait a minute, how are all these teams being in here? So we've got 4 from the Champions League of Africa. We've got 4 from the Asian Champions League, 12 from UEFA. So that's going to be a bunch that come from the UEFA Champions League. But also there's probably ones that are coming from the Europa League, I imagine, Luis. I bet that's a way to get in as well. And maybe even the Conference League beneath that. Then North American CONCACAF, we got 4. And then Oceania's got 1. And South America's got 6 from CONMEBOL.
Yeah, so
and the host country has 1 team.
Yeah, so the 6 from CONMEBOL are pretty much the last 4 Libertadores champions plus Boca and River.
So all of the 32 places, 30 have now been filled.
Yeah,
and that's a lot of these clubs that I read out earlier: PSG, Inter Milan, Porto, blah 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 blah.
Now, if the host country has 1 team and the Sounders are already in there, who is the MLS going to invite?
How will the remaining teams qualify? So the only 2 places left: CONMEBOL Libertadores winner, and 1 team from the host country.
I guarantee you who that team is going to be.
I have a suspicion that we might have left a spot for a certain MLS baby.
Exactly. And I guarantee
it's gonna be. I know it. The Seattle. No,
Orlando City.
The San Jose Earthquakes. That's it. It's gonna be the San Jose.
No. LA Galaxy 5 times. Look, LA Galaxy is a big team in the MLS. 5 times
Luis,
MLS.
There's only one answer.
The Booker T.
There's only one team they want to see.
Don't tell me, John.
It's gonna be. They're gonna save a spot for Messi, man. It's gonna be Messi's farewell. They're hoping that he's gonna get in through winning MLS or something or whatever. But
come on, man, and they're gonna bring it to Interco.
They're leaving a spot for Messi and co to do their farewell tour against other nations of the world.
Hopefully, Chelsea gets Inter, bro.
Hopefully, Man City just destroyed Messi. That would be great. I'd love to see that. Yeah. So. They are not listed on here at the moment as a team that would be included as qualified.
Of course not, because it's going to cause controversy. Because people like Albert Ford in the United States are going to be like, "Why am I not Columbus?"
Previous Champions League winners are in. That's why Seattle Sounders are in there, because they won it in 2022. Monterrey, because they won Champions League CONCACAF in 2021. Lyon in 23. Pachuca obviously in 24. They're all in there for that reason.
They should invite.
Miami are not in there for any reason, but
they should invite, to me, if CONMEBOL is inviting Boca and River because of their history and because of they won it in the past, the most prestigious club in the MLS, whether we like it or not, is the LA Galaxy, 5-time champion.
But
If they're not
they haven't
chosen,
recently won the Champions League, so apparently it doesn't matter.
if the, if they're not chosen, I'm just gonna say,
Yeah.
I'll be a little
Well,
pissed off.
it's
To be honest with
interesting
you.
because there's like the UEFA have a ranking pathway
Yeah,
that they're doing there, but here CONCACAF have just done it based on who most recently won the Champions League,
yeah.
which is 3 Mexican teams, the Seattle Sounders. So it's just, I think they've given power to the like CONMEBOL or CONCACAF or whoever the individual entities that manage their continents to decide how they want to rank their teams into this competition, but they've given them a certain amount of slots per region. So
It's a
it's gonna
Ted
be cool. I
Lasso
think it's more exciting, the 32, way more exciting than just
than 10.
the 6 teams that's like,
Yeah.
okay, well, Man City are gonna win because it's Man City against the rest of the world, right? Like that is always the kind of thing about this competition before. It's like, well, okay, the European Champions League winner should win it and does win it like 9 times out of 10, right? So usually the South American, like Libertadores,
Back in
they'll
the
put up a
day,
good
right now
fight.
they're
Not right now. And
not right now, but I mean, I think that they're
yeah.
gonna definitely. I honestly, be honest with you, I'm rooting for MLS
But
now.
if you put in Bayern Munich and PSG and Inter Milan and all these other massive European clubs, it makes it a bit more difficult for that one most recent
Yeah,
European Champions League winner to just run away with it.
I'm rooting for the Sounders to get paired with River or Boca Juniors and
Yeah.
just definitely prove like
I love this one team from the host country. This is like literally the most MLS thing. If that's what they've done, it's just
bro.
like, yo, and you could have a host nation club too. We already have the Sounders. There's your host nation club right there, Luis. That doesn't
Well,
count though, because
it
they want
doesn't
a very
count because
specific
they won the
club.
CONCACAF Champions League, so they have one more slot.
Yeah.
So
Here we are. Like we've done a
I'm
whole.
thinking, look, and the Galaxy have a good team: Pancil, Peck, Ricky Push.
It's not gonna
Now,
be the Galaxy, bro. No way.
if I don't see the Galaxy,
No, ain't no way. It's gonna be the club that wasn't
I'm
invented
gonna
until
riot. I'm gonna riot,
2019. It's gonna be the
bro.
newest,
You cannot take to the Club World Cup a guy like Suarez, with all the respect for Suarez, freaking legend. He injects painkillers in his knee to play, man. You just can't. You just
Well,
it goes against everything that's good for the sport.
we'll see. But
But
there you go. We did a
but
good 20 minutes on the Club World Cup that we didn't even mean to do, but it was great. I'm fascinated by how this is
it's
going to
gonna
go
be
down
great.
next summer, and we're going to have a bunch of games. So
Hmm.
clearly, because we've got
It's gonna be a World Cup.
two of the venues going on with multiple games at those venues. So it's going to be like a Saturday night, and I don't know, 2 big
Yeah, I mean
European
that's
teams are
another team
playing, and some other teams are playing. Who knows?
right here, John. If not LA Galaxy, Columbus.
Right? I mean, I at least think Columbus deserve it.
Yeah.
Like I obviously right now Miami are winning the league and they won
The Shield.
the what was it?
Yeah,
They
they're
won the
gonna shield
tournament that
on
they
that.
invented for them. That's nice. But for me that stinks of like we want to add Messi in for ticket sales. There's something going on here where like the world just wants to come to America and make money on soccer right now. Because it happened with CONMEBOL and like look at that disaster with freaking,
the Colombian Uruguay
yeah,
match.
exactly. And
Yeah.
then it's happening here with the Club World because we're gonna have the World Cup and there's all this hype, and then they're like, okay, well let's do the Club World Cup before that, and it's like a test run, and they've seen how much the tickets are here, bro. They're like, well, if Taylor Swift could do it, we could do it too.
Exactly.
And gouge people $500 for the honestly though, it's a tournament that like it doesn't like. Would you care if your club won the FIFA Club World Cup, Luis? Would you?
Well, there are players that live of saying that they're the world champion in South America, at least. But I agree with you. I think
I
it's always been it. Like I think it was cooler when it was less teams, and you had like a team like River Plate, and you didn't know you live in Europe, and you didn't know any one of their
right.
players.
I think they came from an era when the world was so divided. It was like,
Right,
whoa, who is this team from Asia?
right,
We don't know who
yeah,
they
yeah.
are. But now it's more
But
like,
now
oh, like yeah,
it's just
it feels
another
very
cash
money
cow.
grabby adding all these clubs
Yeah,
in
it's just
with
another
no
cash
real rhyme
cow.
or reason. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
and
hey, we'll probably watch it. Great that we're hosting. Love that we got
yeah,
chosen for this.
yeah.
And I'm sure people will want to go and enjoy the games. And if you're a fan of one of these big clubs and you never get to see your team, man, that's always a great opportunity. So more soccer is always good, I'd say.
That's right. Well, I wanted to thank everyone that's
Except from the Leagues Cup. That doesn't count.
well, watch, they're gonna be saying, well, and Inter Miami won the League's Cup, so we're inviting them. Wow, I will riot, man. But anyways, well, we'll be back tomorrow with the Pride Pod, all Orlando Pride. I want to thank everyone that was watching today on YouTube and on X. Thank you so much. Also, don't forget, for everybody that's listening, Spotify and Apple Podcast. Also, we're on X at LP_podcast, Instagram at LP_podcast, Facebook Loud and Proud Orlando, and YouTube as Loud and Proud Orlando. Anything else you want to say, John, before we go?
No, just this Sunday, Orlando Pride plays Washington Spirit.
That's right.
It's 1 versus 2. And if Orlando Pride win,
You want to share it?
they take the shield. So if you've ever thought like, hey, maybe I come to a Pride game this season, there's never been a better game to come watch than this right here, Luis. So as you can see, Orlando Pride way up here on 54 points. Washington Spirit, who we play on Sunday night, on 47 points. If we win, we'll go into 57 points, 10 points clear of them with only 3 games left. Mathematically, we will win the Shield. And we are still undefeated. Just if you weren't aware, Orlando Pride is still undefeated. So
yep. 0 else.
If you're an Orlando City fan and you've been like, hey, that's really cool, the Pride are doing well, maybe I'll watch a game, maybe come to this one. This is we got a massive crowd last game that was awesome.
17,000, almost 18,000.
Right? We want to keep that momentum rolling. We want to keep building the crowd for the Pride game. So this is our plea at the end of the season to say, not only should you come to this game because it's going to be historical if we win, but also, you got to come to the playoff game that's already been booked in as well, because this Pride team deserves everybody to come out and support them and fill the stadium like we do for the men's team. I think they experienced a little bit of that on this weekend, but we can put more people in that stadium. I want to see it packed out. So you want to come watch a team lift a trophy in Orlando? Sunday's your opportunity, Luis.
Yeah, do the right thing. If you're a soccer fan, if you're an Orlando soccer fan, do the right thing. Come support your local team. Orlando Pride right now are the most successful soccer team in the city. Whether you like it or not, whether back in the day you saw other players and then you didn't like the atmosphere, or you're politically inclined to never support things like that because that's the way you are. Just go and support. If you like the sport, they're undefeated, 0-0. Like, the Magic's never done that, the Predators never done that, the Solo Bears never done that, Orlando City's never done that. The Pride are doing something that's unreal in one of the best leagues, most competitive leagues in women's sports, which is the NWSL. It's
they're
crazy.
poised to take the Shield, Luis, before the even end of the season.
Exactly.
They're gonna win it with 3 games left. Like
Exactly. It's like
it's yeah,
it's
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 insane.
huge.
And you gotta come and experience this. Like Air Vegas said, the Pride are so good, and we really encourage you to make the effort this weekend. Obviously, we're away on Saturday for Cincy.
Yep.
There's no men's game. You got Wednesday night for Philly, but there's no other games. There's no OCB. There's just this Pride game Sunday night where they
Yep.
might lift the shield. So
Yeah, come
come
in.
please check it out. It's like so cheap to get a ticket. Come stand in the wall. We'll be there. Uh, that's my 5 minutes of come watch Orlando Pride.
No, for sure. No,
Shameless plug.
and I completely support it, 110%. If you have a young daughter playing the sport, like come have her see the pride. Like it's important for us to support the team that's doing so great and look, if you're an OG OC fan, right? Seb Hines is leading the team, dude. I mean, right now, Seb Hines is probably the hottest coach in women's sports right now. He's being regarded as like in the like with big ass names for women's sports. Seb Hines, former Orlando City center back. Okay, so
Come support Seb.
come
Yeah.
support Seb, dude. Like
Support the city. Like there's a
like just
million reasons I
come.
could.
Like it's
Luis.
insane. Like
I
I don't
think
know
that's
what
the
else to
thing.
say. Like I don't know to say it in sign language. I don't know if I should say in Aramaic. Like
There's
it's
I think all of we get like excuses, and I understand that, and I
yeah.
understand that people like oh the money or whatever. But if you're gonna say okay, if there's a game to put that aside and say I'm gonna spend that extra dollars, or I'm gonna make that extra
Unity.
effort, this is the game to do
This is
it.
the game.
So
110%.
please come support Orlando Pride this weekend. I would love to see 20,000 people there as we potentially lift the shield. I mean,
Yeah,
incredible.
it's gonna be fantastic. JCB's 95. The Pride has the best record of any Orlando sports team. What they've done this season is insane. It's gonna be etched in
They're going to be
history.
making Wrexham style documentaries about this season,
Exactly.
bro.
Yeah.
This is unprecedented.
Unprecedented. It's never happened.
It's
It's
insane.
it's like if you like American football, it's like the 72 Dolphins, dude. There's an they still talk about the 72 Dolphins and it's
Oh my god.
2024.
It's going to be like 2088 and I'm still going
Yeah,
to be talking about the Orlando Pride team
yeah,
for 2044.
yeah,
So
exactly.
do
Like
not miss this moment in
you
history.
cannot you
That's really what
cannot
we're
miss
saying
it.
here. This is a
Yeah,
moment in history for this club.
yeah,
And you got to be there on Sunday. So
for sure.
thank you for listening to us.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for everyone that was watching. I wanted to thank John and everyone that joined, JCB, Sarah Vega, Victor Sanchez, and Stream Jesus also. We've moved to a different platform. We are no longer on the former platform. So for our Instagram fans that are watching sometimes on Instagram, I'm going to be adding Instagram fairly soon. So at the moment, it's everything is so new. But again, thank you so much for watching. We'll be back tomorrow with the Pride Pod. And if you want to also watch the Pride Pod, we'll be here live tomorrow at 7:30 as well. And then also on Thursday, we have the preview for Cincinnati and hopefully reviewing a win, an Orlando City win against Philly. So thank you guys for all your support. And as always, vamos Orlando, right, John?
Vamos, Orlando!
Orlando. There you go.